Grief is a strange thing. It twists your emotions, tangles them up in knots, and makes you question everything you thought you knew about the people closest to you. For me, grief isn't just about losing my mom. It's about realizing that the man she loved, the man she trusted, was never who she thought he was. 4 years ago, I caught my dad cheating on my mom. I was living at home again, having moved back to be closer to her as her health declined. The last 7 years of her life were brutal. Machines were breathing for her at one point, and every day felt like it could be her last. My dad was supposed to be by her side, supporting her, loving her. Instead, he was sneaking around behind her back. At first, it was just a feeling. Something was off. He was always late to the hospital, making excuses to leave the house when she was home, acting shifty and distracted. So I started paying closer attention. And then one day, I heard him. He was in his office, talking to someone on speakerphone. The door was open. He probably thought no one was around, or maybe he just didn't care. I pulled out my phone and hit record. That first conversation was bad, but the next two, even worse. In one, his girlfriend was on vacation, and he was whining about how he thought she had ghosted him. He sounded desperate, needy, pathetic. In another, she tried to break things off, but he brushed her off, like it was nothing. He was in deep, and my mom had no idea. I didn't know what to do. She was already suffering enough. How could I add this to her plate? How could I destroy the last bit of peace she had left? So I didn't tell her. I didn't even confront him. I just watched. I watched as he continued his little affair. I watched as he left the house for work, with a giddy excitement he never had when visiting my mom. I watched as he argued with her over stupid, mundane things, while probably texting his mistress under the table. And the final straw? On his birthday, she sent him homemade baked goods. No return address. Just a little package of love from his side piece. And this man, this fraud, had the audacity to eat them right in front of my mom and me, acting like they were from some friend. She died in December, and I haven't been able to look at him the same since. At her wake, people kept telling me how much he loved her. What a good Christian man he was. How hard this must be for him. I wanted to scream, but I just stood there, biting my tongue, nodding at the people who had no idea who they were talking about. Now, I'm in Japan, a trip I had planned before she passed. It's been a blessing in disguise. Being away from him, away from the house where I had to carry this secret, has given me space to grieve. But the question still lingers in my head. What the hell do I do when I get back? Do I expose him? Let the world see him for the fraud he truly is. Play those recordings at the next family gathering and watch the respect people have for him disintegrate? Or do I just disappear? Ghost him. Never speak to him again. Let him rot in his own guilt. Not that I believe he even feels guilt. He won't be sorry. He'll only be sorry he got caught. I can already hear his pitiful excuse. I've made mistakes. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear him justify his betrayal. I don't want to see the look of fake regret on his face when he realizes I know. I just want my mum back, but that's not an option. So now, I have to decide. Do I burn the bridge, or just walk away? Maybe therapy will help. Maybe nothing will. All I know is, When I get back, I can't pretend anymore.